D going for 2 point conversion Monday night special, actually, the very Monday night special. We are missing one member, but he will be on as soon as possible. But we do have Troy and Sam, and I'm pretty sure they can hold down the fort and do the heavy lifting for me until Pete comes on. So without further ado, I am most grateful to have both of you. Let's have introductions. Ladies first. Sam, thank you for showing up on your twofer.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, we're getting close to the season, so this is just grinding it out, podcast over podcast, and it's, I love that people reach out and want me to join, and I'm never going to say no. So it just means that I've got so much fun times hanging out with everyone, and I can't get enough talking about fantasy and the build-up, and just love being here. And I love getting to see Troy again. He's fantastic. So I just appreciate you reaching out, Gladys.
I know it's a great face. It's not as great as the pitcher's daughter drew, but it's right up there. Okay, Samantha, what would be your walk-up song?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with "Pour Some Sugar on Me" as my walk-up song, because I just want it to be like fiery and spicy when I'm walking up. That would probably be one of my walk-up songs.
That's an interesting choice. Troy, my friend. Let's have an introduction, although you need no introduction. Hi, Kyle. Let's have an introduction from you, sir.
Of course. Well, what's up, everybody? I'm Troy King, a.k.a. T King Mode. I'm just on Twitter. I'm a contributor to Football Guys. I write articles for them, as well as one of the co-hosts of the Mailbag show for the Football Guys. I'm also one of the co-hosts of Fantasy Football Confidential. We air Wednesdays. The Mailbag show is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Confidential is at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I just appreciate you having me on too, Gladys. I know we've interacted so much on Twitter. And Sam, I know we've been talking about, collabing for a while. So I'm glad we got this opportunity. So I'm excited for a fun show, guys.
It should be fun. Troy, what's your walk-up song?
My walk-up song. This was a tough one, right? Because I feel like there's so many, but I'll go with "We Will Rock You." We Will Rock You by Queen.
Classic.
I just feel like it's just hard not to go with it. That song is just such a good walk-up song. So I like that one.
It is a good walk-up song, but what is this about tequila and one of those cups in your museum? Here we go.
Sure. Let me pour. Oh, I guess they're talking about this. I'm assuming, right? So this is all my wife's stuff, right? This is I even know what all this stuff is behind me. I know, but I always this is where I podcast. It just looks nice, so I couldn't tell you what any of this stuff is behind me.
Is tequila your drink of choice?
Nah, it's not. Definitely not. I'm more of a whiskey, rum, beer guy. That's me.
Okay, then we will take that away. Hey, Jared, it's good to see you again there, my friend. How are you? All right. So as I said, we're missing Petey, but we're going to go on, and he's going to join us when he can. My walk-up song would easily be "Circus for Psycho" by Skillet. I have no idea what that song is. Have you ever heard that? Circus for a Psycho by Skillet?
I would have to Shazam that really quick on my phone or pull it up on Spotify, because I can't think of a Skillet song off the top of my head.
What if he meant Skrillet? I don't know if he meant Skrillet or Skrillex. I don't know, maybe Skillet is a band, but maybe I've never heard of them, but I bet the song is awesome. So maybe I got to Shazam it too later.
Any song, it's unknown but good too. Any "Circus for a Psycho" sounds like a really good walk-up song for anyone.
I like the title.
I know. Oh, yeah. I would just that would be my walk-up song anytime. All right, let's talk really quick because it's over. Both of you are in Scott Fishbowl, yeah?
Yeah.
How'd your drafts go?
They weren't really good. Mine went really fast. I don't know how about you guys, but I feel like ours was done in just over a week. We were really quick, and everyone was in the chat trying to make sure that we didn't sleep on our picks. There was no auto drafting. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I really loved my team that I ended up with.
Choice.
So you know the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? So I think that my league was the hair. So we were really, really fast. And then all of a sudden we slowed down towards the end. So I don't know what happened, for the last couple of rounds, but we were really fast. And then we slowed down a bit. We got through it. But I'm really happy with my teams. I feel like most people are happy with their draft. And I had to pivot a lot because I'm in the Lil Wayne division. So a lot of people in the Lil Wayne division, they're sharks, right? And then some people, and also I feel like when you're on fantasy Twitter, you put your takes out there, right? So people know who you like, so they reach for the other guys. And I'm okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna go with this dude. So that happened a lot with the draft.
Which division are you in, Sam?
I'm in the Aerosmith division, which I feel like my division, though there's definitely some sharks and I like a lot of teams, I feel like we're just the party division. Everyone's just happy to be there. Our chat was just super fun and on fire. There was no mean-spiritedness. It was all just we're just happy to be here and happy to draft together. So I think the Aerosmith division is the party division.
Jared was in Chance the Rapper division, which, Jared, let us know how quickly or slowly your draft went. I was in Kyle's in Incubus. I remember that. Oh, and Kyle says he's in Incubus. I am in the Bob Marley, which was
nice.
Okay. So it was a stoner division, I'm assuming, but not that I'm a stoner. Not that I'm saying I'm a stoner. But it was one of the slowest drafts I've ever been in my entire life.
Because it's the Bob Marley division.
Yeah. At least, it's on.
It was Bob Marley division. I think we just finished actually last week or last Saturday or something.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad. I don't know. But, well, what?
It's on brand for Bob Marley, though, like you guys were saying.
I know, and that's what I feel happened. I feel the divisions went by, they picked the names, they went in there, and if it was someone that's upbeat and quick, and the division went quick, and if it was the Bob Marley, the stoner division, you're we'll get there when we get there. And that's what we did. But did you, I had a particular strategy. I always have a particular strategy. It doesn't always work. Do you guys have a particular strategy? Did you have a particular strategy going in? It's really hard, I know, because Troy, you're really, really prevalent on Twitter. So everyone knows who you like. Everyone knows what players you want. So how do you have a strategy if everyone's going, oh, Troy's going to take, so-and-so. I guess I'll take him first.
So the way I just did it was, for me, I'm all right, I'm just going to go with whoever comes to me, right? So the way I saw it is that I wanted to establish my QBs and running backs early, right? So the way that I normally go into drafts is I wanted a stud tight end, I wanted decent QBs, and I wanted a stud running back. Because for me personally, running back just dries up so quickly, and there's a lot more depth with wide receivers. So that's always my general strategy, I guess. But then I also kind of just take whatever value is there. I think for QBs was what I was really worried about, because I didn't know exactly when the QB run was going to go. And I was at position 112. So it's a long wait. And even though there's the third round reversal, it was just such a long wait after my next pick. So I feel like I had to make my picks count more than other picks, because again, I had to wait 22 picks, and I just saw guys flying off the board that I liked. So every time it was my turn, I picked back to back, but I had to be okay, this is every single pick is a business decision, because I got to get the guys I like, or else I'm never going to get them. So that's kind of how I approached it.
Sam, what pick were you?
I was the 104.
04? And
yeah.
Did you have a strategy going in, or?
Yeah, I was trying to be more relaxed about it this year. Last year, I think I got in my head and I had a terrible draft. It was as soon as the pick I wanted went, it was just I don't know what I'm doing. So this year I was okay, no, we're zen. We're going to see what best available comes to me. At the 4, I didn't know if I was going to get a quarterback there or not. And knowing how tumultuous this league can be with quarterback, I was okay, if Mahomes or Allen are there at 4, I'm taking them. If not, we're going running back in those first 2 picks. And that's what ended up happening. So Mahomes and Allen went just before me. McCaffrey went first. I took Dalvin Cook. And then after that, I took Nick Chubb. So I knew that I was going to have just stacked running backs. That was the goal for me this year. I just know how that position can be with injuries. And I'm just trying to hedge my bets and just get 2 stacked running backs. And then I knew once that happened, I wanted to see what receivers fell to the third round. And then I was going to either go quarterback there or in the fourth. And then Stephon Diggs is just sitting there, sitting pretty. And I was like, you come over here. You come onto this team. And
Come
so
to
I got
mama.
him. You come here. And then I got Matt Ryan in the fourth. And I was happy with that value there for him. And just, I know what you're going to get with Matt Ryan. And that gave me a bit more confidence. And I just loved the way that the draft felt to me after that. But it was just so important getting those 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds for me.
Real quick, Jared wants to know, he has a question. He got into a debate today. Is Julio still a top 10 wide receiver? Sam.
I mean, I think he's definitely top 20. Definitely he could even get into top 15 by the end of the season, but I don't know if he's a top 10. And that just is based on where he is now. I think he's going to have a lot of success with the Titans. I'm excited to see him there, but the volume isn't going to be what he's used to. And I think that's what kind of cuts the legs out from underneath him in terms of his floor. But I still think he's going to finish the league probably higher than most people think.
Troy?
I agree with Sam. I'm actually pulling up my rankings right now to see exactly where I have him. It's definitely not, I think I have him like 13. I have like him 13, 14. So I think he's just a borderline, right? So he's a wide receiver 2 to me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I guess it's all the points that Sam said, right? Because it's a volume thing. A.J. Brown's still the one on the team. It's weird to say that with a team with Julio on it, but A.J. Brown, I don't know if it's 1A, 1B, or if he's the 1 and Julio's the 2, but it is volume. Derrick Henry's still the offense. But I believe that it's just going to make everything more efficient, right? You couldn't stack the box anyway because Ryan Tannehill, has proven to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's been, ever since he went with Tennessee, he's gotten an opportunity. He's just been extremely efficient and, done exactly what they've asked him to do. He's the fact that everything just goes through Derrick Henry. I just don't see how they're going to be able to stop this offense, right? Like you can't set up the defense to stop the run or essentially for the pass because the other side will beat you. So but in terms of Julio, yeah, I think he's going to be a high-end wide receiver too.
Okay. And, Jordan, hi, what's up? Troy, be very careful. I think Jordan's trying to make memes from you.
Oh, see, so there's a running joke, right? Because every time I'm on pods, like I just have crazy facial expressions. So the problem is that like no matter what, some people are watching, they like screenshot at the right time, and it happens to end up being a meme. So that's the running joke that we have.
Well, I would be honored to have you have a meme from this show.
Well, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna do it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's do. Sam's not going to the expo because she has weddings to attend to and bridal dresses.
My friends are just getting married and it's taking my money and it sucks. I want to do football stuff. Like it's not fair.
So, if you, Troy, you are going to.
Yes.
Who are you most excited to meet?
Well, now that Pete's here, I'll just say that I'm excited to meet Pete. I'm pretty sure Pete's going to the expo. So
I don't know if Pete has sound on. Pete,
okay.
We can see you, right? Hi. Hey, everybody.
Pete, he looks so cool.
I can hear you.
We can see you and hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
You can hear me just fine. Sweet fancy Moses. I don't know what the hell that was. Good Lord.
But the sunglasses inside mean you're here for a party.
It's the sunglasses.
Listen. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm going to be standing for this. I hope that's cool. Like, I'm not like on edge or anything. It's just I've been in a car for 600 miles plus in 2 days.
Wow.
Why?
I'm at the end of it. So it's I'm sorry.
Why?
Oh,
were you in a car for 600 miles?
My best. Well, my best friend got married last night. Why he did it on a Sunday, I have no idea. But the wedding was like 175 miles away. But I was there. He was the best man at my wedding. There was no way I was going to miss it. So,
that's nice.
And then of course I drive for my day job, and I clocked about 190 today for that. So it was just Wow. This capped off a nice. But I'm not going to be a downer. I'm not going to talk about this. I've been looking forward to this podcast for I don't even know how long it's been, Gladys, since you reached out to me. And I just remember putting out a random tweet. I was like, you know what? It's my goal this season to do at least one podcast with Troy. And then like 4 hours later, Gladys, you messaged me and you were like, hey, I'm throwing this together if you want it. And I'm like, absolutely. And then Sam, that was just kind of a last minute bonus right there. I saw that and all of a sudden I got incredibly intimidated. And then this whole fiasco doesn't, help my case here. So I really hope the audience got a great show because it's just going to suck now that I'm here. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're doing all the heavy lifting, is what I hear. What division in the Scott Fishbowl are you in?
The Beatles, hence the British invasion with the Abbey Road-ish font for Scott Fishbowl.
Did you guys finish? How did your draft go? Fast, slow?
Not bad. We averaged maybe like 3 picks a day, 2 to 3 picks a day each. But I'm talking round.
I'm about to say like that's not good.
That's not good.
No. I meant each of us. Like rounds.
Okay.
Yes, 2 to 3 rounds a day. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
That makes a better sense. Okay.
Yeah.
What pick were you?
I was the Fab 4th.
Yay,
you're in Sam Moore. Yes.
Yes,
right.
Sam. We're actually in the 4-pick group.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Colin wants to know, Pete, who's your favorite Beatle?
I mean, it's chalk, but you got to go John. I mean, how do you not? They're all great in their own way. I mean, but yeah, you got to go John Lennon.
All right. Who are you most excited to meet at the expo, besides Troy?
I had thrown this out there a few days ago. I unfortunately will not be making the expo this year. Yes, I did. I put that out there. Some personal things came up, and I just unfortunately I will not be able to make it this year. But as you all well know, I'm a big Bills fan. If the background didn't give anything away, so the mantra of "There's always next year." Hey, it's helped me through that because there's always next year. So.
All right, here's a question then. Who would you be most excited to have follow you on Twitter?
Anybody, or are we sticking strictly to the fantasy
community?
Anybody? Oh, jeez. I can dive deep. You know what? Harrison Ford. Why not? If I woke up one morning and I saw Harrison Ford was following me, like Han Solo, Indiana Jones is now following me. My shit Twitter account is being followed by a legend. Yeah, that would be it for me. So I'm going to go Harrison Ford. Absolutely.
That was pretty random. Sam, who would you be most excited to follow you on Twitter?
Okay, if I'm going non-football, I got to go Chris Evans because if he's following me, then I think maybe I got a chance there. I'll shoot my shot every day on the hour, every time. And then he'll be like, Sam, I'm not going to unfollow you, but you got to stop. You got to get out of my DMs. Like, never. I will never stop shooting my shot.
That's a nice shot to shoot too. That's right. Sorry. You're going to the expo.
Yeah, I'm going to the expo. So in terms of besides Pete, he's not going anymore. So who else am I really excited? There's so many people, but I'll say Scott Fish. I mean, Scott Fish, the legend. It's hard to pass him up. So I'll be like, I'd be excited. He's probably the one I'm most excited to meet outside. But in terms of a follow, there's too many people. But I'll just go Rihanna. The same thing. I'm married, but I think my wife will understand. I'll say Rihanna.
Why would that make you think that you'd have a shot?
I wouldn't, but I would. In my fantasy mind, I would, just make up some kind of illusion that I did.
I just want to go on record and state that I was not picking Harrison Ford as if I had a shot. That just kind of.
Oh no, that's okay, man.
I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong.
He's a legend.
He just turned 79. You believe that?
Really?
He's 79 years old. Yeah, it's crazy.
You don't want a piece of that?
Exactly. Look, man, he's a handsome man.
With his loose skin and old balls, gross.
Look, man, everyone has look. Somebody.
Hey, Jeff.
The movie reference, I mean, not like the action. Never mind.
No, it's okay. I understand.
We get you. We understand exactly what you're saying. It's okay. It's all right. Okay, we're going to rank 3 teams: the Bills, the Dolphins, the Steelers, by what you think their win-loss record will be this season. I will let Troy go first because his team is probably going to be in the bottom of that.
Wow, Gladys, really?
I'm just saying.
Look, I don't know, man. We could be better than the Steelers. We'll see what Ben's on, but I'll say, look. I don't know how y'all did as well as you did last year. I'll say that.
We started out like
okay. Wait. So I got to say my team's record, or do I got to say like the order? The order? Okay. Bills, Dolphins, Steelers. I think that's what it's going to be. Bills, Dolphins, Steelers. I just think that Big Ben, look, y'all got lucky. Look, y'all did your thing last year. Big Ben is not on the downside of his career. Yes, they have weapons. Yes, they have Najee. The offensive line still isn't great. So I think the Dolphins are on the rise in terms of the offensive line, the weapons they have, the defense. As long as Tua just does what he needs to do, then we're going to be a playoff team. So I like that order. I wish I could put the Dolphins above the Bills, but I got to be realistic. Obviously, we saw what happened last year. So Bills, Dolphins, Steelers.
Eric Johnson, you're dead to me. Just thought I'd throw that out there right now. All right, Katie, how would you rate them?
I honestly have to agree with everything Troy just said. I would rank them the exact same way, but I do have a lot of faith in the Dolphins this year. I feel like they did make the right moves to better their offense. I'm very excited for the Tagovailoa. I just wanted to pause and make sure I pronounced that correctly, not fumble over that one. But him and Waddle connection. And I mean, I took Tua 5th in the 5th round for Scott Fish as my QB2. And paired him with Devontae Parker. So, yeah, I'm going to agree. In fact, I'll put a pin in it for now. It kind of made me think of the other topic you want to talk about players being busts this year. Spoiler alert, I had Najee Harris as my pick.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow, I thought we were all going to be friends after this, apparently.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No.
I really don't. Okay, Sam, how do you have them ranked?
Well, I do have the Bills over the Steelers just because I do love what Josh Allen is doing there. I love what they're doing in terms of setting him up for consistency, and I love what their defense is doing as well. So for me, I still have the Bills over the Steelers, but it goes Bills, Steelers, and then Dolphins because I know that the offensive line is weak. However, this steel curtain is insane. Our defense is on top of all of their shit. We are absolutely phenomenal on defense. Najee Harris is just a specimen of a back. Are you not watching any of his tape? Are you not entertained? For crying out loud, this guy is going to absolutely revolutionize the rushing game. I cannot wait to see him on the field. That was the huge miss that we were missing last year. Ben doesn't need to scramble. All he needs to do is release quick, which he does on the ball to our litany of amazing receivers. And Najee Harris is going to be used in the passing game. I'm very excited for our offense and our defense. And I just wonder what kind of magic you think the Dolphins are really going to be able to string together. Like, okay, yes, I understand Tua is coming off an injury, but he didn't look confident when he was out there. They were just throwing him out there on a wing and a prayer, and they should have had Fitzpatrick out there the entire season. So I am just not excited about the Dolphins.
Wait, am I allowed to rebuttal to that?
I didn't rebuttal to you. I sat here patiently and just, okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you say all you want to say. I'm just saying I don't have any confidence in this. Will Fuller, always injured. Crying out loud. Devontae Parker, always kind of hitching his step. I do like Waddle. I think that's a good pick, but I'm just not excited for what they can put together. I have very little confidence in this offense, and I feel like they will we've got 2 quarterbacks that are up and trying to get traded. You don't think they're just going to say, all right, we were patient enough on Tua for a season and then just go out and get someone else. I don't think the Dolphins have confidence there either. So it's a mixed bag to me. I don't want a mixed bag. I want confidence. And for me, I'm out on the Dolphins.
All right,
Now
Troy, what you got?
Okay. All right. Okay, here's the thing, right? So last year, I'll try to make it as quick as possible because I could go on a tangent. So Tua last year, right? Did he struggle? Absolutely. But we got to think about all the factors that were involved with that. Last year, he mainly had a rookie offensive line. His wide receiver core was injured, right? So he was throwing to guys like Jakeem Grant, Matt Collins, Isaiah Ford. These were his go-to receivers at points of the season. His starting running back was hurt, right? It's like so many things. The play calling was trash. And I'm not saying that Tua is not at fault, right? He did struggle, right? But guess what? Rookies struggle. He's all right. This year, we obviously brought in Will Fuller. Obviously health is a concern for him, but as long as he's healthy, and I don't know if the steroids were the reason why he was healthy, maybe, but if he's healthy, then obviously he's going to help open up the offense. During this offseason, the Dolphins have already made it a priority that they want to open up the offense. Obviously, Waddle's going to help with that as well. He's a yak monster, so he's going to be used down the field, short yardage, things like that. So Waddle obviously is a huge addition. And Devontae Parker, look, last year he looked like a bust because, one, he was dealing with injuries, and two, he was the only option. But the year before that, he was a wide receiver 1. So I don't think he's that far removed from that. I'm not saying he's going to be wide receiver 1 this year, but I believe he's undervalued. I know Pete just mentioned that he took him in Scott Fishbowl. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the possession receiver and he actually benefits from Fuller and Waddle being on the field because that's going to be lesser coverage on Parker. And I believe that he's actually going to be a value. So to me, and obviously the Dolphins have one of the best defenses in the league. Last year, they were a turnover machine with Xavier Howard, our linebackers, our D-line. Like, we have a solid, defense. And again, overall, and obviously Myles Gaskin, he's healthy. Obviously, we saw what he did last year. The Dolphins have confidence in the running game. And look, the Dolphins, to me, we were one game away from the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Bills kicked their ass that last game, or we would be in the playoffs, right? So this team is going to be much better. Hopefully, I guess our offense is going to open up the field. I don't want to get too much of a tangent, but I'll leave it at that.
All right, so this is going towards Jared's question. Obviously, out of those three, Josh Allen would be the number 1 QB. Who would be the number 2 QB, in your opinion? Tua or Ben? Troy?
Tua. Give me Tua.
You'd take Tua over Ben? Reality and fantasy?
Well, I mean, at this point of Ben's career, yeah. I would say he's on the downside because here's the thing, right? Because I have Tua ranked higher than Big Ben. And I also in fantasy, I have Tua ranked higher than Big Ben. I'd be like, look, Big Ben is going to be the benefactor of all of his weapons, right? That's what he is. It's because of Deontay, it's because of Juju, it's because of everybody that he'll be a somewhat decent streaming quarterback, maybe, right? Somewhat decent streaming quarterback because, again, it's not because of Big Ben. It's because of everything that he has around him. This is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm just talking about, 2021. In 2021, Ben, I don't have confidence in him.
Sam, who do you have?
I would have Ben over Tua, just also in terms of where you're drafting him. I mean, Ben is falling in a lot of drafts, and that's great value to have someone that's going to have close to 4,000 yards like this season, just based on the number of targets he's going to be getting to his receivers and his opportunity. He is going to stand back and throw. That's what he does. He's not going to stop doing that. Do you have a rushing floor? No, you don't have a rushing floor with Ben. I'm not dumb. I know that. But you have an incredible volume of passing yards at your disposal. I'd rather wait and get him as a second quarterback in a super flex league. I think he's just, very undervalued in terms of what you're going to get out of him in a fantasy year. And what I also love is I know that he gets hurt a lot, but he plays through so many injuries. So in terms of real football as well, give me a guy that's just got the grit that he has, and he's just going to get out there on the field, broken ribs, broken foot, and still going to complete passes. He's done it before. He'll do it again. And is he at the end of his career? Absolutely. Like, he's definitely on the back end, but you still have an insane volume. The offensive scheme isn't changing. Tomlin is Tomlin and going to do amazing things. I have full confidence in him for that.
What do you have, Pete? Tua and then
I gotta agree with both of them to different degrees. I mean, Sam made great points with where you could get Ben in a draft. In a redraft. I mean, hell, you could probably get him
waivers,
13th, 14th. Like way down. Pretty much. So I mean, that is a fair point. I guess to me, Tua just it's the upside of Tua. I want a guy that's more explosive. And yeah, Ben plays through injuries, and we've seen it all before, but tack on another year. Just it's father time, and even the injuries that he would have played through even 3 years ago, is he going to play through them now? I mean, it's just, and I don't want to speculate injuries with regard to fantasy. This is more the reality side of things. As you said, he's at the end of his career and everything like that. I'm not trying to correlate, injuries with fantasy analysis. That discussion was made. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, Tua's the more explosive player. That's why, when I saw him, even in Scott Fishbowl, for instance, as a QB2, I mean, if you're in a 2 QB or super flex league, like, I'm going to take Tua all day over Ben. I think that he fell short, like Troy said last year. And I'm really going to mince my words here because I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but it's kind of like, Josh Allen had a shaky start too. Let's just see what happens. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm not comparing them. I'm not saying that Tua is the next Josh Allen, but everyone, crapped on Josh Allen for his first 2 years actually. And he was in the same position where he just had to be thrown in. Tyrod Taylor got injured and it's like, all right, Josh, there you go. You're in. So it was kind of the same thing. Josh Allen also had an injury to his hip. I believe that was his rookie season. It didn't take him out as long as Tua, obviously, and it wasn't the same hip injury as Tua, obviously. But again, just little parallels. And I'm not saying that Tua is the next Josh Allen story that we saw just this past year, but maybe that potential is there. So
Kyle asks, is Tua on the hot seat after 1 year? What do you say?
No. No. Look, guys, he's a rookie coming off a major injury who started like in the middle. Again, this is where people just get too impatient, right? Everyone wants instant gratification. He has to. The problem is Justin Herbert is one of the issues with this, right? Because Justin Herbert looks so damn good, and he was drafted one spot behind Tua because Tua isn't, and also there's just different quarterbacks, right? But again, because he's not a QB1 his rookie year, people are freaking out and calling him a bust. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, right? If you watch Tua, did he make mistakes? Yes, a lot of rookies make mistakes, but he also had moments where he looked good and he helped the team win. And to me, who I compare Tua to, I always comp him to him. I comp him to Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins isn't like always a QB1, but he's good enough to provide QB1 weeks, and he helps your team win. He's not the flashiest, but to me, I believe that Tua can do enough to help the team win and also support fantasy wide receivers, right? That's the type of – he's never going to be a Josh Allen, and I don't believe he's ever going to be a Justin Herbert, but we don't need him to be that. And I think this, if people just look at Tua for what he is as a quarterback, I believe that, people will understand that, okay, like, you know what, we'll have more faith in him, even if he just has to significantly improve from last year, right? If, let's say, we don't make the playoff, but he significantly improves, we're going to ride the Tua wave next year. If he sucks again, then yeah, obviously, we're most likely Dolphins are going to move on, but I just don't see that happening.
I also think for fantasy purposes, it depends upon your league scoring. Like in the Scott Fishbowl, I would say I would agree with Kyle that Ben would be a better quarterback than Tua in the way the Scott Fishbowl scores quarterbacks, right? In a normal redraft league where you're not getting penalized as much for interceptions, you're not getting penalized as much for sacks, Tua, yes, I would probably take reluctantly Tua over, although Ben has the weapons, so I don't know. I'm excellent arguments on both sides. Yes,
I'll just make a small comment to that point. I got crapped on taking Josh Allen last year in Scott Fishbowl for the exact same reason. That's all I'm going to say.
So you're saying that Tua's going to make that jump that Josh? What did you say?
I said he's just going to leave that there and walk away from it.
I'm just going to leave that there. the exact same. Like I took Josh Allen. It might have been the 5th actually, maybe the 4th. I'm not positive now, but I took and. Everybody in the chat was like, "Oh, what the? That was a homer pick." Like, because they all knew I was a Bills fan and everything. They're just crapping on me. Like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know." And he was my highest scoring player easily all season. So again, I'm not trying to say that Tua and Josh Allen are the same quarterback. They're not, but it's just kind of like, hey, let's see where this wave takes us. I mean, it's a very similar situation, but I think Tua has.
Is it though? Is it a similar situation? Is it?
Let's say storyline. Let's say storyline. It's similar. It's like we've seen this story before. We've seen it before, where it's like, I'm sorry.
So is it like a sequel that no one's gonna watch?
Oh
kind of, but hey, go on Netflix. There's plenty of awful sequels that are just fun to watch.
I can't wait for this season. I cannot.
You're gonna be blowing me up on Twitter.
Every two a highlight. I'll make sure I'm DMing.
Can I just point out one thing? That week 1 it's Bills Steelers, and then week 2 it's Bills Dolphins.
Hey.
So
I am not looking forward to the week 2, man. After that beating last year, I'm not. I have PTSD from that.
I mean, I'm just comfortable knowing that we're going 2-0 to start.
Oh my God! You hope 1-1.
Yeah.
You hope 1-1, and you hope
0-2
survives. You hope Allen survives the Steelers.
I'm currently knocking on wood, by the way, so all superstitions out the window.
I'm going to change it up just a little bit. Just a lot, actually. And we are going. Are you Marvel fans? You guys are Marvel fans, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're rating WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki as the quality of content. 1, 2, and 3. Sam, you're first.
Okay, so admittedly, I haven't finished Loki, but even though I haven't even finished it, I'm going to put it just slightly above WandaVision, just because I feel like this is the one that's really giving us all those juicy details that are going to set us up for the next movies, which I'm super excited about. And then Winter Soldier is just beneath all of them. WandaVision was fantastic, though. I just, so much about that I loved. The format was a little bit weird, but once you got into the groove with it, oh my gosh, I fell in love. Winter Soldier is just... This could have just been a movie. Like, I didn't need this many episodes of this.
Okay, first, where are you on Loki? What episode are you on?
I'm on episode 4.
Okay, cool. Pete, how are you ranking them?
I'm ranking them as a father of 2 small children who hasn't had time to watch any of them.
Okay, I feel better now.
No, listen. It's okay, Pete. All you gotta do is this is all you gotta know, right? Sam is wrong and I'm right. So just hear me out. All right.
Troy, come on. Troy, let's be honest, man. I had your back during the whole Tua Ben debacle. I'm gonna side with Sam on this one. Just so
you can't. You don't. That's fine.
Listen. I was. Let's put it this way: of the 3, I'm most interested to see WandaVision first. Like that's where I do want to start. So,
that's fine. Look, WandaVision is first. I'm gonna say WandaVision's first. Winter Soldier to me is second, and then third is Loki. Right. So I've seen all of them, but your WandaVision, it started out real slow, and then once it got going, I got hooked, and it was so unique and so different. That's why I put it first. Winter Soldier, Falcon. I don't know. I like the action. I like the suspense. I like the drama. That's what I liked about it. Loki, it was cool. There's a lot of slow moments in Loki, though, right? These personally, but like it was creative.
Are you saying they're low key moments?
Oh, I like the puns. Very, very well done.
I'll just leave.
I like that. That was very well done. But no, that's how I order it. I like Loki, but I like the other ones better personally.
Okay, that's fair. As long as WandaVision is first, I don't.
Yeah. No, Sam put it second. Sam,
it's just a close.
She put it second.
It's like this for me though, because they did such different things.
I told y'all she was wrong.
It's like
it
could be the other way. It's just so close for me. I loved both of them, and I did not like Winter Soldier.
You did not? How can you? Okay, first of all, how can you not like Winter Soldier when you have like the Winter Soldier there the whole time, although with the short haircut wasn't as good. But okay. The puns.
I was just missing our real Captain America so much. I felt like there was so many things that were kind
that's why you faded it. Chris Evans is in it.
If you're watching. Don't want it.
But, he's the only Captain America for me.
The Winter Soldier had really good storylines, like the Winter Soldier that no one knew, or the soldier that no one knew about coming in. The older man. Come on. Loki was like flatline, kind of. Owen Wilson was really good, but Loki was flatline.
Yeah, Owen Wilson is hilarious, but I think the whole world with the TVA, this just created this whole other level for me that I nerded out on completely, and I went on to try and look at other fan theories on the world, how is this going to like end up going into, the next Spider-Man movie, Doctor Strange. All of these are going to be interconnected. So for me, it was like it created it answered so many questions for me, and I think that's maybe why I'm just like that made me more excited, because now I'm like, ooh, now I can't wait for the next movie. Versus the other ones that it prepped you, but it didn't fill in the blank. It just gave you more questions at the end. And it gave you both Sam and the Winter Soldier. So I mean, I don't even see how you could put Loki above that. I just don't. Anyway,
glad it's not on the same page here.
There we go. On this anyway. Jared wants to know. He had another question. Should the New England Patriots start Cam Newton or Mac Jones? They should start Cam Newton for sure. I mean, I feel like Mac Jones is a bit of a project and he needs some time. Like, I don't want to throw that guy out there into the Sharks and just see him flail. I'd rather see him wait a little bit and then get some more confidence before he's unleashed. What say you, Petey?
Verbal retweet. I really don't. I can't. There's nothing more to add to that. That's a perfect description of exactly what Mac Jones is. And yeah, start with Cam, because what do you have to lose besides Cam? In games. Okay, yeah, you could lose games, but I mean, why? Like Sam said, why are you going to throw this kid to the Sharks? You have no reason to. There's no. Again, this would just be one of those like, oh, Cam dove for the end zone and broke his arm. Knock on wood, he doesn't. Go ahead, Mac, you're up. That would be the only way he sees playing time anytime soon. And that's fine. I mean, he's a work in progress. He's a project.
Sure. We're gonna go 3 for 3. I'll say Cam. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter who of them stars. They're gonna be fighting for third place. All right, but they're gonna be fighting for third place. But for me, I say you do Cam Newton because again, I know last year he had his struggles, but I'm gonna go Cam in this scenario.
All right, so this kind of question kind of ties in, but not really. But we'll pretend like it does. Who do you think will be the fantasy disappointment? We already heard what Petey's blasphemous answer was.
I'm going to insert the Homer going into the bushes gif right now.
Yeah.
The fantasy disappointment, not named Kyle Pitts. Everyone thinks Kyle Pitts. Not that Kyle Pitts will be a disappointment, but because of where people are drafting him, he will be a disappointment. Who do you think will be the big fantasy disappointment, not named Kyle Pitts, for the 2021 season? Anyone but Petey.
Ladies first, Sam, you could go.
I'm going back and forth between who I would say is going to be my biggest disappointment. I think that Zach Wilson is going to be a huge disappointment to the Jets. I just feel like he's not ready. I feel like it'd be better if he was playing behind someone to really get his start. But the Jets don't have that option, so they have to throw him out there. So I just feel like it's going to be a lot of floundering. It's going to be similar to what we saw. I mean, actually not going to be nearly as good. But like Joe Burrow was floundering at certain points just because his team was finding ways to lose. And I feel like Zach Wilson's going to run into that a lot with the Jets. And though he's going to try and air it out, I just don't think he has the same firepower that Burrow has. So I think that's where he's going to find that's going to be the weakness in his armor. He just doesn't have that fire that Burrow has in terms of a very young quarterback. I think it's just the Jets. I just feel like people that are going to be high on that offense are going to be very disappointed.
Do you think that Zach Wilson is getting drafted at a high rate, though, in fantasy?
I feel like in some super flex leagues, I'm seeing him go pretty high. He went higher in my rookie draft than I would have put him at. certain people are just going to be putting him higher because
because he's Zach Wilson.
Because he's Zach Wilson. He's got the pretty punchable face, that you just he's the prom king that no one likes. Like he's got that whole thing going on. So people be like, as we get closer, no, it's going to be their year. They totally revamped their offense. No, it's still the Jets. Like doesn't matter if they put a new coat of paint on it. There's still rust under there. It's not going to happen. So for me, I'm out on him.
Who do you have, Troy?
So I was struggling with a couple different people, but the one I'm just going to go with the guy that I've been pretty down on, and it's Josh Jacobs. I'm going to do a two-fer. Josh Jacobs and Chase Edmonds. Both of them, right? So Josh Jacobs, I know some people are low on him. There are some truthers out there that still believe in Josh Jacobs, but I believe that Kenyon Drake, they brought him in for a reason. They paid him way more than normal backup running backs. The offensive line is not as good. They traded away, they cut a bunch of their offensive line. I believe Drake is going to not only take away passing down work, but he's going to eat into his rushing. Jacobs is still the RB1, but he already wasn't getting targets, right? So he's not going to get more targets in this scenario. So I'm just completely fading Jacobs. And Chase Edmonds, he's one of those running backs that everyone wants to be better than he is. Because let's see, so I feel like every year, at least past couple of years, there's always been these Edmonds truthers, if he gets more touches, he gets more opportunity. And I believe James Conner, I don't believe he's going to be a workhorse either because we know his injury history. But I feel like he's going to be annoying enough to limit Chase Edmonds' upside. And then also you have Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray is going to be stealing goal line rushes, and his rushing ability is also going to affect it. And to me, I'm just worried about Chase Edmonds. So I'll say that those two, Jacobs and Edmonds, I'm worried about both of them.
All right, Petey, go on with your blasphemous statement and explanation. Go on. Say it.
Yeah, it's Najee Harris. I don't trust your offensive line. I don't trust your offensive line. That's all it is. I'm sorry. And when you have passing weapons, in just your disdain is distracting me.
I hope Josh Allen steps on a Lego.
That's hysterical because I'm pretty sure that's what I said to Gladys when she was asking me how I felt about when people time out in slow drafts. I said that they should be forced to didn't I?
Yes,
I'm positive that's what I said to you. I'm like, if you time out in an 8-hour slow draft, you should be forced to step on a Lego. Bring it up. I'm gonna screenshot this and retweet it when we're done doing this with the screenshot. I swear to God, I said that. And the thing is, I probably will when I go upstairs. That's the thing. The chances of me doing it are quite high. The odds are not in my favor. But no, it's that simple. I don't trust your offensive line. And like I said, with the passing attack, I mean, why wouldn't Ben just be chucking it as much as he can? So I'm not going to say any more about it because I don't want you guys to hate me. I don't want to wake up to 2 less followers on Twitter tomorrow.
No, I don't mind the hate. And Troy, I still love you to pieces and would take a bullet for you. It doesn't matter if we don't agree on our takes.
You don't have to do all that. I hope you don't have that scenario. I feel really bad.
Totally
Well, I appreciate it. I hope it doesn't have to come to that. I appreciate
Protect Troy at all costs.
That's awesome.
There's some crazy dedication in the fantasy football community. I mean, I was in Troy. Remember the lip sync battle we were in earlier with True North Fantasy and everything. Like we got to the semifinals, and why am I blanking on his name? But he did all the Prince videos and everything. And during our podcast, he was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about having my wife get a taser and taser me in one of the." I'm like, for $100, I'm like, dude, I would have sent you $100 to not taser yourself. That was the grand. I mean, seriously, there's some crazy. Sam's taking bullets. This guy's tasering himself. It's crazy out there. That's why people take this atmosphere too seriously. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun with this.
Taking bullets for Troy. Wow.
I would.
That's pretty.
You don't have to do all that. I'm not worth all that.
Just start humble. Protect Troy at all costs.
Protect Troy at all costs. We're going to go to what is your superpower, Troy? Everyone has a superpower.
I've thought about this so many times, and it's really hard because I've actually thought about the pros and cons of different superpowers. So I'll say the fly. I say my superpower would be the fly because I thought about super strength and it'd be too hard to like not hurt people. Too fast, you could, reverse time. So I say just flying. I think it's the safest for everyone around me. So I'll say flying.
Okay. And Petey?
Regenerativeness.
Ooh,
like
that's
Wolverine.
a good one.
Good one.
Yes.
That
Like
was a good
Wolverine took a bullet to the head and it just like a half hour later just popped out and he was fine.
That's a good one.
That
I
is a
mean,
good one.
why? Yeah. Why? I mean, sure, it would suck because you would outlive everybody that you love and all that crap and whatnot. But hey, why not?
You can always make new friends.
You almost redeemed yourself from that Najee Harris stuff. That's nice.
That's good.
That is a good one. I used to say fly, but I was helping my parents this weekend do some stuff around their house, and I was up on a ladder, and then I'm up there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm terrified of heights. Why am I up here? Like, I wouldn't do well. I'd be flying like 10 feet above the ground because.
But you get your reps in.
No, I don't think so. No, for me, I would want to have the super strength just because I'd want it without having like the obvious muscles either. I would want to have it just as I look now because I would love to be deceiving of people.
Like Wonder Woman.
Yes, people like underestimate you. Be like, oh, can you do that? And I'd just be like, do you want this car over here? And just like throw it.
But
like, I would just love to be. Like,
it's all about controlling it, right? Because if you don't control it, you'll crush everybody, in love. And I don't know, like you put holes in the wall, break off doors.
You just got to like, after you rip a couple doors off the hinges, you kind of get used to it. And maybe you drive a Jeep that doesn't have doors. You don't have to worry about this.
If we have full control of our powers, like we're experts already starting off, then I'll do super strength. If we just learning, let me fly and I'll give my water wings.
Right.
See, that's why I went with regenerativeness because I stub my toe and it stops hurting, that sort of thing. I step on a Lego and it just, it's like, oh, that kind of hurt, but I don't feel it anymore because it healed already. So
I like Pete's mentality.
It's incredibly lazy. I let things happen to me and then my body just fixes itself without me doing anything about it. It's the ultimate lazy superpower, and you can't die. It's fantastic.
Love it.
All right. T, name your top 3 Morgan Freeman movies.
Oh, I was excited for this one. Okay. This took forever. All right. Number 1, which is wait, do you want me to go 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Number 3 is going to be $1 Million Baby.
Okay.
Fantastic boxing movie. Yes, Hilary Swank and Clint Eastwood were the main focus, but I mean, Morgan Freeman finally won the Academy Award for that role as Scrap Iron Eddie or Eddie Scrap Iron, something like that. But just absolutely outstanding. His second collaboration with Clint Eastwood after they did Unforgiven, which also won Best Picture. So a little bit of trivia there. And Clint Eastwood won Best Director for both films as well. So just a fantastic role. Number 2, I'm going to go a little nostalgia because this was one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up. I first saw this when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and the movie was only 2 or 3 years old at the time. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's with Kevin Costner, and he is Azim. They escaped the prisons of the Crusades together and go back to England. He accompanies him and everything like that. But just it's a fun movie. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, I've rewatched it. It's on HBO, and I rewatched it recently. And I'm like, holy shit! I liked this as a kid. Wow, like it's 2.5 hours of awfulness. Alan Rickman kind of saves the show. That's Severus Snape for those playing the home game. Also Hans Gruber for the true fans. But no, he plays the Sheriff of Nottingham. Absolutely fantastic. But Morgan Freeman, in my opinion, stole the show on that one. And number 1 for me is actually a numerical movie. And before I say this, I'm going to give honorable mentions to Unforgiven, Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that's not number 1, folks. And why am I drawing a blank? Invictus, because if anyone's going to play Nelson Mandela, it's freaking Morgan Freeman. So those are my honorable mentions for him. Number 1 is Seven as Detective William Somerset. Absolutely fantastic movie. He showed command. I mean, Brad Pitt is the hotshot, newbie heartthrob of the mid-90s, and everything. He's the loose cannon and whatnot. Morgan Freeman held that film together, and that is one of my favorite films of all time. So well crafted and so hard to watch, but it's every now and then I give it a.
Okay, what's your favorite Morgan Freeman line from any movie?
I'm sorry, I kind of broke up there, Gladys.
What's your favorite Morgan Freeman line from any movie? Do you have one?
I do. One moment, because I took a screenshot of it. It is from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves as Azim. And the reason I picked this, I'm actually going to go a little serious here because Twitter has been obnoxious lately with a lot of the stuff going on. Troy, you know what I'm talking about. Sam, you know what I'm talking about. It's been crazy out there. So this was a line from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from Morgan Freeman as Azim. I once heard a wise man say, "There are no perfect men, only perfect intentions." We all fuck up. I'm sorry for my language, but it's like, come on, let's stop just being dicks to each other. Okay, we all have good intentions. All right. So anyway, that's the line I picked.
I like that line. I like it. Sam, I'm gonna let you go second because I saw Troy's obvious reaction to PD's honorable mentions. So Sam, you go second.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's gonna be some similarities between mine and PD's, so just bear with me there. I'm gonna go with 3, and we can kind of sandwich some of these together, but I'm gonna say Dark Knight because I really loved. I can't tell if Troy's happy or mad, and I'm kind of scared.
I'm both.
I just love him in those movies. He just creates this whole new level of a character in a Batman film that you didn't have before, and he just opens it up in a whole new way. So you normally think, okay, Bruce Wayne is gonna, have the money and can make all the tools, but no, you've got Morgan Freeman there, who's just the guy in the back that says, yeah, we can make that and we can do it next level, Batman. And then he just comes out with all this stuff. He's like having Q from 007, but in Batman. So he's just being able to make all those fun tricks and things. And he's also just got such funny, quick-witted humor. And I think Batman says something like, well, can the armor stop a knife? Stop a pretty big dog? Yeah. He's just got this fun banter with him that's just yeah, I can level it up. But then he's also just what are you doing in your free time that you're doing all these shenanigans? And then he puts it together. So he's just a really great character there. And then I'll say Shawshank.
Great pick, Sam. Great pick.
Thank you. Shawshank is a top for me there. Honorable mentions in between that, and I don't want to say in between because it's just a bit of a nostalgic movie that I'm a big fan of. Bruce Almighty. If you're gonna pick someone to play God, could you pick someone better than Morgan Freeman? No, he's God. I think he's perfect there.
I would like to think God sounds like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
He does. In my opinion, he does.
That would be great.
And I appreciate him greatly.
Sam, do you have a line? Morgan Freeman line?
I'm trying to rack my brain for a line, and I don't think I'm going to do them justice because I'm not pulling the top of my brain fast enough. But I will echo PD's number 1 and say 7 because it is one of my top 5 movies. I freaking love 7, and majority of it is because of Morgan Freeman. 90% of why I love that movie is Morgan Freeman and his character and the journey that he goes on. And he's, at the end of his rope and he wants to be done with it, but then he's also staying in it so he can get this other detective through, and then he stays on later because we all know how that movie ends. So I gotta love that one too.
All right, Troy, what you got?
Okay, so a lot of mine was stolen, so I'll be quick about it. Third, is Lucius Fox in the Dark Knight series. I just love him there. 2, I was going to actually say Bruce Almighty because Bruce Almighty, to me, obviously the God thing, and also it was just so funny. When it first came out, I'm like, man, this is a funny-ass movie. So I just really, really loved that. And obviously, Shawshank, Invictus, and all that, those are all really good. Bucket List wasn't bad, but my number 1 is $1 Million Baby. It was just a fantastic movie. And my line is actually from the Bucket List, right? So it says, I feel like it's so applicable to so many things. It says, you measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. So I just thought that was cool.
That is an awesome line.
Love that. I want it on a pillow.
I kind of do too now, Sam, actually.
That would sell well, I think.
Yeah,
it does.
I can see it on my couch.
Okay. Anyway, this is the part where you guys get to rant. I feel that PD may have done part of his rant already, but we're going to start with PD about anything you want. And I don't know, a rant can be either good or bad, in my opinion. I might be wrong on that because there was discussion in one of the chats I was in, but I think a rant can be either good or bad. So you don't have to have a bad rant. If you don't want, you can have a good rant. So PD, you go, my friend.
I wasn't really prepared for a rant. But I mean, I kind of was saying it before. Listen, we're all in this space. We all have different degrees of knowledge, for lack of a better word, and especially in this community, in fantasy football. Okay, someone's going to know one thing that someone else might not know, and it's just can we just stop hating on each other so much over the dumbest shit? It's at the end of the day, it's a game, people. It's a game. Stop taking victory laps for every little freaking thing. You know what? Take the victory lap when you freaking win your season. That's when you take a victory lap, okay? Do you pick up the trophy when you win your conference? No. You leave it sit on the podium. You pick up the championship trophy, the big one, okay? So stop with the little victory laps. Stop, the dick swinging, okay? For, lack of a better phrase. Just knock it off. Just knock it off, okay? Just have fun. That's my rant.
I like it. I like that rant. I like the phrase dick swinging, too, which I don't think I've heard in quite some time.
I hear
Sam?
it too much.
Me?
I hear it. I feel like I hear it too much, but maybe it's just in my group of friends. They're weird.
I'm just saying, just be cool, people. Just be cool.
Just be cool. Yeah.
Just be cool.
I think maybe my rant would be similar in this space, and I'm very grateful that I don't run into this that often anymore. But it still happens, and I feel like there's certain times when I love to be a guest on shows. I will always say yes. I just love the opportunity. I love that people even still want to hear my takes. I think that that's crazy and bizarre, and I'll never wrap my head around it. However, when I'm brought on a show as the only woman, and then they ask me questions, oh, well, since you're a woman, I'm going to ask you the question. And then I give an answer, and then I'm talked over immediately. And then maybe they ask a question to someone else, and it's a very women-focused question, and they don't ask me again. It's just like this trying to be, inclusive of women in the space, but it's like, okay, well, we got you here, so I don't actually have to talk to you. You're just going to sit here in the space, and I'm not going to actually ask you any questions, which is super annoying. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can't check it off your list just because you got me on your show. That's not how this works. Like, you have to have a dialogue that feels inclusive, and don't talk about players like women in bars, because I don't think that that's very nice if you're talking to me in the space as well. Like, let's be thoughtful with how we're talking to each other and with women in the space. I feel like hopefully it's less and less that guys are blowing people up on Twitter and saying, oh, well, since you're a fan of this team, tell me the stat from 1975. That's also super annoying. But can we keep just growing? Can we just keep growing and keep listening to each other? Like, it's good to have a voice and it's good to speak and have a platform, but I think it's super important for us to listen. Just take a moment to listen to what people are saying and let it sink in. And it's like active listening. When you're having a conversation with someone and you can tell they just ask you a question back without having listened to what you just said, I think we need to do that more on Twitter. Like, as people are talking and they're reading and we're reading each other's tweets, let's let those moments sink in before we talk. Be more thoughtful with our rebuttals or our takes on different things, and just be actively inclusive instead of just saying, okay, well, I checked off the box because I tagged one person in this tweet, but I'm also going to go 5 minutes later and say a very sexist tweet right after that. It's like, you can't dip your toe in both. You can't do both. You got to be actively working towards it.
Excellent point. I like it. And Troy?
So yeah, it'll be similar to what PD and Sam said. I'll say that, I just see a lot of like people just don't know how to debate without like taking it to another level and having personal attack. It's the most bizarre thing, right? Like you go from like talking about a fantasy player and then you'll go back and forth and then people call each other like idiots or oh my God, what are you talking about? And it's like people just don't know how to disagree respectfully. And it's the most bizarre thing in the world to me. And on top of that, and just in terms of jealousy, right? There's a lot of jealousy and envy that no one's going to admit it, but you can just tell, right? When it comes to people tweeting or people subtweeting, 'cause there's some people who, let's say, aren't getting as much traction or been doing it long, or maybe they don't feel like they're getting the attention they need. I think a lot of times what happens is that a lot of people like to blame everything in the world but themselves. There's not a lot of self-reflection, right? They believe that I did this, this, and this. I should be growing or I should be getting what I expect. And that's not really the case, right? What happens is if something's not working, you should be adaptable. You should look at yourself, okay, why isn't this working? What can I do better? And don't be afraid to go out and seek advice, right? I feel like one of the benefits of this space is just building relationships, right? Getting to know people on like, whether if it's acquaintances or on a deeper level, just again, whether it's doing shows with them, whether it's reading their articles, like sharing your articles with them, it's just, we're all in this together. We're all here to grow. So there's just so much unnecessary like toxicity in the community, as well as a lot of times there's just misunderstandings because when you're looking at Twitter, you see somebody tweet, like you can't tell tone from a tweet, right? But some people like will just say a simple tweet and people will try to make believe what that person is saying and might take it in a personal way. And then it creates drama that probably shouldn't even been there in the first place. So guys, just think of it kind of like that. It's just take all of those factors and just realize we're all in this together. And again, just like P said, it's a game. Let's just respect each other. Let's listen to each other. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. Like we are grown as people. Again, like and again, I made the joke the other day, like if I was to tell my family, like, oh, this guy on the internet was being mean to me, right? It sounds pretty ridiculous, right? Or this guy didn't like my Joe Mixon take. Like, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. So that's all I got to say about it.
All right. We went a little bit over time, but I'm okay with it because you guys were so great and you were so entertaining. And I love all three of you. PD, you a little less, but all three of you. I'm just kidding.
Accept that. I accept that.
I'm just kidding. Najee Harris. We'll see. We're gonna be talking during the season, you and I think.
Listen. Last year I tried making a bet with Sam when the Bills played the Steelers, but she didn't take it. So if you want to take a bet with me, Sam, sure. I'll give you a second chance. Think about it. Week 1, what is it? September 12th. You got well over a month.
What's the bet?
What are we doing on the bet?
Nothing monetary. It's got to be something like you have to do a video on Twitter type of thing. Ugh. By the way, shout out to Linda because she still owes me a shout video from our bet from Week 15 against the Broncos. She said that she was going to do it in Canton, but now unfortunately because I'm not able to make it, I think that's going to have to just hit the Twitter sphere.
Let's do a shot bet.
A shot bet.
Yeah, let's do a video shot bet. I'll do a shot as soon as the score comes in. A
shot or a chug?
Chugs are better. Fine. Shots, fine.
How about this? How about
I don't drink beer, so it's harder to do a
yeah, but you could chug like a Truly. You could chug
There's so
like
many bubbles. Why would you do that?
There's so many bubbles.
So many bubbles.
I like High Noons. I'm not sponsored, but I like them a lot.
You know what, Sam. Here's the solution to that. Shotgun it. Take the key, and then
you want me to
do it that way.
That's just going to be such a mess.
All the more entertaining for Twitter.
Oh my god,
it is very true.
Come on, who out there would not love to see Sam shotgun a Truly?
This is true.
Fine.
You know what, Sam? I'm gonna put the poll up tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna put up tonight. I'm gonna put up tonight. I'm gonna do a poll.
Yeah, do a poll.
And
on what the bet
if it does not, if it finishes with more than 85%, you have to do it.
Okay. That's a very specific.
On top of our bet for Week 1. On top of it. Not in lieu.
Not in lieu, on top of. Wait, so what did I owe you last year? What was it?
Well, no, you never took the bet last year.
No, I didn't.
No, you never took it. Yeah, you weaseled out of that one.
All right, are you taking the bet, Sam, or no?
Yeah, no, I'll take that bet. I'm really curious to see what the poll says.
Wait, so what does
Twitter want me to have to shut?
I don't even know. You lost me with the 85% and all that. So I don't even know what the
so I'm gonna put out a poll that says simply, would you like to see, and I'm gonna throw her handle in, shotgun a Truly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no. Yes. And if it's 85% more, or if 85% or more for the yes side, then she has to do it.
Okay.
Sam, you might as well get your Truly ready. It's
that's what I'm saying. I mean, she took it. I don't think she really thought it all through.
Times. That's not how this works.
Sam, it's over.
Doesn't matter. I mean, again, who out there is not going to want to see that?
What's really funny is you think it's going to be successful. What's actually going to happen is I'm going to put the key in, and it's just going to go everywhere, and be like, cool.
But that's what's going to be so funny about it.
Exactly. Thank you.
I was told last week that you can shotgun a beer with a bendy straw. So Sam, you could put the and then just
doing that.
These are some guys from the South. I don't know. I'm a bartender, and they were finding a bendy straw. Finding a bendy straw so they could shotgun a beer. So you can shotgun a Truly that way, I'm sure. Then get a bendy straw. You don't have to put the key in, but you have to drink it all at one time.
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out the physics of how that's possible, because as soon as you put it in, it's coming out. I mean, what are you trying to fiddle with a bendy straw to get in there? Like what? What?
The top. What do you mean it's coming out? You put it in the top and then you drink it. I'm not sure what you're doing.
That's just sipping on beer with a straw. Nah.
No. You take a key or a knife and you put the whole bottle.
Yeah. That's another
and then when you do that, when you open it, the airflow just allows it, so there's not as many bubbles.
It's gonna hurt my stomach.
You're gonna be fine. All right, Sam, where can people find you?
They can find me at SamanthaRHolt on Twitter and on Instagram at Sam_awesome. I am still doing the fantasy debate. We have been recording secretly, and it will be all launched very soon. I've been working with Dr. Roto on something very new and exciting that everyone gets to hear about very soon. So there will be a lot of new content from me, including articles. So lots to look forward to.
Yay. Petey, where can people find you?
At PD Stitz, remember the underscore, because it's fairly new, as my handle was recently confused with me referring to my breasts. Swear to God, true story. Cooter Doodle was on a podcast months ago, and they had like a minute-long debate. They're like, wait, is it Petey Stitz or is it Petey's Tits? And Cooter Doodle was like, I'm pretty sure it's Petey Stitz, because I think that's just a play on his name, which it is. But they're like, no, it's got to be Petey's Tits. I'm like, why the hell would my Twitter handle be Petey's Tits? So every time people reference that, I just put the GIF of Ben Stiller in Dodgeball, like just juggling his tits and everything. So, but anyway, yeah. So at PD_Stitz.
Oh my God.
And you can find a lot of I do a lot of work for Fantasy Alarm. I when they post videos, so definitely check out the videos at fantasyalarm.com. I do a lot of their video clips, so when you see like the short, 60-second videos and stuff, that's me. So definitely check that out.
And I shall. I haven't checked it out, but I will. And Troy.
How am I supposed to follow that up? Okay. So y'all can find me at TKingMode on Twitter. I am one of the co-hosts of the Football Guys Mailbag Show on Wednesdays. So you can check me out there with Dave Kluge and Victoria Geary. And I'm also one of the co-hosts of Fantasy Football Confidential. We're on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with John Bauer and Linda G, as PD already mentioned. So check it. And I do articles for Football Guys. So I'll be doing a lot of them during the season. And yeah, I'm also on TikTok. I dabble on TikTok a little bit. So check me out there. I don't really do as much fantasy on Instagram, but you can follow me at TKingMo, and I just do post funny stuff on there. But yeah, that's about it.
What's your TikTok handle?
It's TKing Mode.
Oh, TK Mode?
Yep,
okay.
TKing Mode.
All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone who joined in, and listen to these three wonderful, amazing people. and their amazing takes. And take to heart what they said. Twitter, stop being so obnoxious. Stop trying to see who has the biggest dick. You're all pretty. You're all so pretty. And next week, it will be Kyle. Kyle, thank you for joining. Jared, thanks for coming on. I missed your face. And Yeti, thank you. Everyone else, thank you guys. Thank you, Three.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Loved it. So much fun.
Wonderful. I was so excited when all of you said yes. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you for being on. And we will see you in the Twitter sphere and on your articles. Bye, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. And we are off. And PD, thank you for sticking around. Joy, thank you.